Hey, welcome back. This is Brian, and welcome to Reclaimed Republic. Today, we're going to talk about sales for the past weekend and talk about the thumbnail of this video, the eBay sales cheat code. And it's probably gonna sound a little like clickbait. I guess you could consider it a cheat code, even though it's not actually cheating. It's a really interesting thing that I guess discovered a little bit on my own by accident, but then heard a lot of people on YouTube talking about it as far as the way you list your items and staying consistent. Because the eBay machine really wants you to be very consistent listing items, really daily is the best way to do it. And people vary in the number of items they list a day, 5, 10, 20, 100. I've tended to be more in the 10-ish range per day. And I've definitely seen, if you are not listing or active in your store, your sales start to trail off. I've watched that numerous times, and as soon as I start listing again, they come right back. So I know it's a real thing. The cheat code is ending a listing and selling similar. It's not rocket science at all. Anybody can do it. It's easy to do. So this past week, I didn't list anything brand new in my store. I was coming off of Christmas week. I had some home projects I was doing around the house with my wife and kids, and for some friends. And then my wife and I, on Friday morning, left on a 3-day little mini vacation, just her and I. And I didn't really have time to be listing items. It was really just all I could do to keep my items, go ship them. And I did my short videos on what sold and to get back to what I was doing. But what I was diligent in is each day going in, and between 10 and 15 items in my store, I would end the listing, I would go back in, sell similar, look at comps. Do I need to lower the price? A couple items, I raise the price, make sure it was promoted. And if it was already promoted, I may take it from 2 to 3%. I had some items that I had promoted at 5% already. I took those down to 2 or 3%. I moved some photos around. I made sure my listings, my titles were the right titles, and updated those items. So I was doing that each day, and that kept my sell rate for my store above 1% of total inventory every day. I don't remember who said it. I've heard several people say it, that as a general rule of thumb, if you're doing the right things for your store, you'll typically sell about 1% of your inventory per day. Right now, I'm floating around 350 items. So for a 7-day week, that's about 25 items sold for a week. And I think this past week I sold 26 or 27 items without listing anything brand new. So it was just ending my listings and selling similar. If you're struggling at all getting new listings up, I'd recommend, taking a look at that. And I just go into my oldest listings and start searching through and seeing items that I need to do that with, and do it that way. To do 10 listings, what I've seen from my personal experience, to end a listing, sell it similar for about 10 items, takes me about 20 minutes maybe. So it seemed to be working for me, and I've used that as a crutch from time to time whenever I need to and I can't get to list new items. So that's it. Might be new information for you, or it might just be a reminder, but I hope that helps. Now let's get into what sold over the weekend. We got 15 items to talk about, and some of them are really cool. So let's check it out. The first item was this bag of Kerr McGee memorabilia. Got this in an estate sale. There was a different plastic bag, but a plastic bag with this stuff in it. And there was also a little tie tack, which I pulled the tie tack out and ended up taking it to a coin shop nearby, and found out that it was 14 karat gold. It was pretty small. It was lightweight, but ended up selling the tie tack to the coin shop for $108, which blew my mind. and sold the bag of memorabilia separately. I've had this listed for about 2 months for $39.89 plus shipping. Paid 50 cents for the bag, and I had no idea. I mean, I go to estate sales and see tie tacks all the time for a quarter or 50 cents. Most of them aren't gold. Most of them are brass or maybe electroplated or something. They're not actually valuable, but really lucked out on that one. So got the tie tack and the bag for 50, in the bag for 50 cents for all the other stuff, and sold this for $40 and that for 108, and it was pretty awesome deal. Next item up are these Wiha L-Key Torx wrenches. I picked these up at a garage sale for $5. Guy had a lot of high-end tools, and picked up. It's an older set, but still desirable. Picked them up for $5. Sold those for $24.89 plus shipping. Wiha is a high-end. I believe it is a German brand of tools, and they do a lot of precision tools, so they're pretty nice. Next item is this Le Creuset number 18 saucepan. I had 2 of these. This is the second one. This one is in not quite as good a condition, but still really nice. Has that fire orange color pattern to it. Picked this up in a lot for $2. Sold this for $41.30 on an offer plus shipping. Pots and pans are still doing okay for me following Christmas. Not as well as they were, but my inventory is also about half of what it was. So I sold a ton before and just even right after Christmas, and it's just continuing to sell. So glad to see that go out the door. Next item up is this large print Pew Edition New American Standard Translation Bible. This is a personal item. Sold this for $10.31 plus shipping. That'll go out media mail. Next item are these brass ducks. It's pretty cool. I picked these up at a garage sale for $2. Really cool little pieces. Cleaned them up. Just a little bit of Barkeeper's Friend. Just wiped them down. Not a lot of cleaning. Picked those up for $2. Sold those for $13.42 plus shipping on an offer. Next item is this Maxell head cleaner and demagnetizer for cassette decks, tape players, if I can get my words out. I got that. I put 50 cents as my cost. It was really free. I picked up 2 of the old faux wood drawers with cassettes in them at a garage sale for $1 a piece, and I was trying to just buy the drawers, and said if you take the drawers you got to take all the tapes too. So I did, and I found this in there. It turns out it had some value to it. I thought I'd look it up because it was different. It wasn't wasn't music, and sold this for $8.89 plus shipping. Next item up is an interesting one. This really kind of ties into the being curious that I like to talk about whenever you're out shopping. So saw these at a local Goodwill. They're called Clean Wheels Dust Shields. They go inside of your wheels, the back side of your wheels, and it keeps brake dust from getting your alloy or aluminum shiny wheels all dirty from brake dust. It's a company that was bought by somebody and they don't make them anymore, so the only place you can get them is eBay. Picked those up for $4, sold them for $16.91 on an offer plus shipping. The next item is this Revereware. It's a 1.5 quart saucepan. Just cleaned this up a little bit. Picked that up at a thrift store up in Tulsa for $4. Sold it for $18.89 plus shipping on that one. This next item is another personal item. So my wife and I bought these at Pottery Barn in 2003. So I guess technically they're vintage, but they're reindeer appetizer plates. So it's all 8 reindeers, 4 here, 4 here. They didn't do a Rudolph, they just did the other 8 reindeer. But we picked those up in 2003, and sold those for $89.89 plus shipping. Those surprised me a little bit. Being Pottery Barn, I thought they'd have some value, but they're, as soon as I listed them, tons of watchers, tons of views, and it took about 1 week to sell them at full asking price. Next up, it's another personal item, is this old Raggedy Ann trace and color coloring book. So this is from when my wife was a young girl, so it's vintage. Sorry, honey. But sold that for $10.96 free shipping on an offer. Let's see, up next, these next two are interesting. This is this Barbie and Midge. So it's a doll case, and I saw this at a garage sale. I walked up. It was a garage sale that had mostly clothes at it, and one table that had stuff. So I walked over to the one table for stuff and saw this sitting there, opened it up, and it had a bunch of dolls. Had two Midge dolls, one Barbie, some dolls that weren't Midge or Barbie, little small miniature dolls, and then some like sleepy eye dolls where you turn them and their eyes flip around their head. They're plastic dolls. Some clothes, and it smells very vintage. I cleaned everything up as best I could and got it listed. Paid $20 for it, sold it for $109.89 plus shipping. There was a lot of interest in that right away as well. The vintage Barbies do really well. These are from the 60s. So I knew there'd be some value there. I didn't know when I walked up, I asked the lady that it was her garage sale and what she wanted for them. She goes, I really don't know. They're from the 60s and they're old, and I don't know. And what do you want to pay? And I said, well, I'll pay you $20 and that's about it. And she goes, oh, that's fine. She said, I wasn't sure who was going to want to buy. The case is really beat up. And I pictured the heck out of it on eBay to make sure that the person knew exactly what they were getting. So glad to see that go out the door. I've had it listed for maybe about 3 or 4 weeks now. So I sold that, and I was like, man, that's so cool. And then, I don't know, maybe 2 hours later, this sale came in for a vintage lot of paper dolls. I bought this at an estate sale because I thought, oh, they're old, they're paper dolls, they're going to sell so well. I didn't comp them. And I was wrong. So picked those up for $15 for the whole bundle of them in a box. A lot of them are brand new. 1 or 2 of them still have the shrink wrap around it. But a lot of it's really intricate and actually pretty cool stuff. But it's just not as desirable as I thought it was. But picked it up for $15 and sold it for $35.93 on an offer plus shipping. So that's gonna be a fun one to pack up because of just got to keep everything intact and safe. So next is this Canon EOS 650 camera, 35mm camera. Picked it up at a garage sale with a big lens for $10. Sold the lens for $60 already. The camera I priced at I think $14.89 or $12.89 or something, and ended up sending out an offer for $11.60 and sold it for $11.60 plus shipping. This one has been hanging around in my inventory for probably about 3 months or so. It's untested because I don't have film and didn't want to buy film to test it. This model wasn't worth a ton of money even working, so I just wanted to get it out the door. So I'll get my money back plus a little bit and reinvest that money. This next item I picked up at an estate sale because I was paying attention while I was looking around. I was walking in a cupboard and I looked up high, and on top of the cupboard, kind of scooted back, was this Presto popcorn power popper. It's got Orville Redenbacher down here, which I don't know if a lot of people still know who that is, but he's the popcorn guy. It is used. It's in really good condition, but paid $1 for it and sold it for $11.91 on an offer plus shipping. And then the last item, number 15, is this Mickey Mouse alarm clock. This is a personal item. It was a gift to one of my kids years back. They're not into Disney or Mickey or anything like that, so it's been in a closet in a box, and we've moved it around, and it's brand new. It does have a little bit of damage here on his hand. Got scratched up from probably something in a box whenever we were moving it, but so this is no cost to us. Sold it for $12.89 plus shipping on the alarm clock. Well, that's about everything for the week. I hope you find this content useful. If you have any questions, do leave those down below and I'll get right back to you. If you like content like this, I'm going to leave a video link down below as well for other videos about what's sold recently, so you can take a look at that. I do appreciate you watching. I hope you have a great day.